What's going on, everybody? Samuel Kim here, and I'm back with another one. Today, we are doing a top 10 watch list for 2024 for the Montana Grizzlies. So, I got a question from one of my partners on the Grizzly Tailgate show, Denny Bedard. He sent it on Facebook. I was going to put it in my last video, but then I thought about it, and I figured I'd actually make a separate video for this breakdown. So, I'm going to be breaking down my top 10 in no particular order, my top 10 to watch for 2024 for the Montana Grizzlies. First on the list, we have Kale Edwards. Kale's 2023 stats: 15 solo tackles, 4 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. I think Kale showed great flashes last year. I've been a fan of Kale since he came in the building. Big, tall, body on the defensive end. He's somebody who I could definitely see having a breakout season. I think he showed great flashes last year, showed what he could do, made a lot of big plays and big moments during some games, but I don't think he fully put it together for a full season last year. And I don't know if that has to do with reps. I don't know if that has to do with health. I don't know particularly what that has to do with, but I know if he puts it all together in the 2024 season, he could be an all Big Sky player. I think he has the potential to be potentially Defensive Player of the Year in the Big Sky Conference. That's how highly I think of him. I think he's a great player. I think he has a great mentality. He's a hard worker. He keeps his head down. He doesn't say a lot, but he's always grinding. He wants to be the best. He's got that competitive spirit inside of him. He has all the makings of somebody who could be a great player for the Montana Grizzlies. And he is the first player I thought of when I thought of players to watch. I saw many great plays from him last year. He got the sack fumble against Idaho. He had a great sack against, I think it was Delaware, either Delaware or Furman. Actually, I think it was Furman. He got that sack in the backfield when they tried to run a screen. Just some really good plays. Not great, not crazy stats this year, but I envision him having an amazing season next year. So that is the first player on my list. The second player on my list is Ronald Jackson Jr., cornerback, number 2. His stats last year: 13 solo tackles, 1 interception, 3 pass breakups. I believe the 1 interception he had was against Idaho State. Really cool play there. Really good read by him. He made the play. Great job by him. But, he's also another player. Showed flashes last year. It definitely has the ability. There was a lot of guys splitting reps, especially during the early part of the season. They had Trevin, they had Corbin, they had Klusewicz getting a decent amount of reps, and then they had Jackson Jr. I think it was a majority Jackson Jr., Trevin, and Corbin. But, they brought in a few players through the transfer portal. But, Corbin was a senior. He's gone. So now it's Trevin and whoever else is on that other side. I could really see that being Ronald Jackson Jr. Obviously, the same stands for, what I said about Kale. If Ronald Jackson Jr. can put it together, he has the talent, he has the ability, put it all together. I think he'll have a great year. He's my number 2 player on my list. I think this defense definitely is going to need some help in other places this year. I think the front 7 was something that held it down. Alex Gubner held it down for the Grizz last year. Braxton, Flink, Levi Janicaro, Riley Wilson, all those guys on that front 7, all the D linemen as well, held it down last year. They are going to have to replace some of those pieces last year, and this year. And like I said, they got some pieces in the transfer portal. They got the Monmouth defensive tackle. They got a defensive end. I think he might be from the Missouri Valley somewhere. I can't remember where the defensive end is from, but they got a couple D linemen. But the back end also needs shoring up as well. Nash Fouch is gone. Trajan Cotton is gone. Corbin Walker is gone. A bunch of guys who had played a bunch of snaps and had been in the program for a long time. So Ronald Jackson Jr. could be the player to step up and fill in that hole in the secondary. We will find out. That's the number 2 player on my list. Okay. Number 3 for my breakout player is Aaron Fonts. His 2023 statistics: 48 receptions, 617 yards, 5 touchdowns, 12.9 yards a catch. And I know I've talked about it quite a bit. Aaron kind of had his breakout season this year. And he showed everybody. I think everybody knew that he had talent. Everybody knew that he had a lot of ability. Everybody knew what he was capable of on the football field, but he had yet to put it together. And part of that might have been because he wasn't getting as many opportunities as he got this year. He played a bunch this year. In past years, he might not have gotten the same amount of opportunities as he got this year, but there were a lot of plays that he left on the field. And I don't say that to bash him. I say that because I love him, and I say that because I know he can be great. He left a lot of plays on the field last year, and if he's able to shore that up, Aaron could be an 1,000-yard receiver. He could be the best receiver in the Big Sky. Aaron could be the best receiver in the country if he wanted to be. So he's my number 3 player on this list. I know he has the talent. I know he has the ability. It's just it's just about if they're going to if he's going to put it together this year. You know, obviously there's a question mark with the quarterback. They got a transfer coming in, Kale Edwards, the young guy. Who will be the starter? We don't know. But if Aaron is able to put everything together, if the stars align for him, I think he could have a massive season. So he's definitely a player to watch for the 2024 season. My number 4 player on this list is Kale Edwards. His 2023 statistics were 26 for 38. I think he was around like 69% completion percentage, 271 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, and 7.1 yards per throw average, or yards per completion average. I don't know. It's 7.1 average. Anyway, feel like I've talked about Kale Edwards quite a bit this offseason. That seems to be the main question a lot of you guys have asked me during some of my subscriber question videos. But, you know, I could really see Kale Edwards having a breakout season. Obviously, I've mentioned, if you've heard me talk about it, I do think he needs more live reps, and I do think it's going to take a little bit of time for him to get his legs underneath him. But if they're able to weather the storm early on in the year, and he's able to get his feet underneath him and get a hang of the offense and how things operate, I think he could have a massive season. I definitely think he's a player to watch. Obviously, when we're leaving a national championship season where we went to the national championship, came up short, but the quarterback was one of the bigger reasons why we were there. That's going to be a topic of discussion coming into the next season. So obviously that's something people are paying attention to. I think he could be an amazing player for the Grizz if he's able to put everything together. It's going to take work. It's going to take dedication. It's going to take leadership, but he's definitely a player to watch. The quarterback is always going to be a player to watch. People care about who the quarterback is. He's the thing that makes the whole team go. If you look at any level of football, if you don't have a requisite quarterback, except for maybe in high school, but at the college and professional level, if you don't have a good enough quarterback, you're not going to be able to get to the big dance, and you're not going to be able to be successful. So eyes on him. My eyes are on him. I look forward to seeing big things from him in the 2024 season, and yeah, he's another player to watch. That is my number 4 player to watch on my list. My number 5 player to watch. This is a big one. Remember, none of these are in any particular order. I'm just listing off 10. My number 5 player to watch for the 2024 season is Cole Grossman. Now, everybody knows what Cole is capable of. I think he was a 2-time All-American when he was healthy. 2022 season, I think he was an All-American. In 2021 season, I know for 2021 he was an All-American. I can't remember if in 2022 he was an All-American, so I'm not going to say 2-time. 1-time All-American, an All-American tight end. This guy is a receiver in a tight end's body. He's very smooth. He runs great routes. He jumps out the gym. He's very athletic. He's a player to watch for sure. One of the reasons why I put him on here is because we didn't even get to see him in the 2023 season due to injury. So I'm very excited for the 2024 season. I'm very excited to see what he puts on the field. I'm excited to see how Coach Pease, being the new offensive coordinator, not new to everybody else, but new to Cole, since Cole wasn't in the offense. Obviously, he's been on the team, so he knows Coach Pease, but I'm excited to see how Coach Pease incorporates him into the offense. I think he could be a big piece to the Grizz offense, and he could be a game changer for sure. And I understand what Schaefer brings to the table with his blocking ability and everything he brings in the run game, but I think Cole is a different weapon in the passing game, and I think that's an aspect of the offense that he could greatly affect. Having that tight end, when you have 3 star receivers that you have to worry about, when you also have that tight end that you have to worry about, that's going to help your offense out. So I think Cole coming back is not only going to help Aaron Jr. and Keelan, it's going to help Eli, Nick, and Xavier. It's also going to help Kale. It's going to help everybody in the offense, and I'm excited to see what he's able to do since he's been out for a year. So maybe he'll have some rust, who knows. Hopefully he's been training and getting his body right, and we'll see a rejuvenated and super active Cole Grossman for the 2024 season. My number 6 player on this list is Ryantrell. His stats for the 2023 season were 24 solo tackles and 1 sack. I think the thing with Ryantrell is, like, he's been behind a bunch of great linebackers for such a long time. He's been in the program for a minute, but he hasn't he's yet to get his opportunity in the offense. He's somebody who I could see having a great season next year at that linebacker position, seeing that we lost Braxton, we lost Levi, and we lost Flink, the three stalwarts at linebacker, the three guys who have been holding down the linebacker position for at least a year. I think Terrell could have a great year. Obviously, I'm going to say this about all the guys. It's going to take work in the offseason. It's going to take dedication, and it's going to take you being focused on what you have to do day in and day out. If he's able to do that, I think he could be very, very successful. I think he could have an amazing year. I'm excited to see what he does in the 2024 season. That is my number 6 player on this list. My number 7 player on this list is Hayden Harris. His 2023 statistics were 10 solo tackles and 2 sacks. Now, Hayden Harris is actually somebody who, I think it was the North Dakota State game, which he might have got hurt in, but no, he got hurt in the South Dakota State game. It was either the North Dakota State game or the Furman game, but one of the playoff games, Hayden was doing more than showing flashes. He was showing out. He had like a couple TFLs. He had maybe a sack or a sack and a half, but he was really balling out in one of the, I can't remember which one, Furman or North Dakota State, but he's somebody who I could see having a really big season in 2024. He transferred over from UCLA in 2023. He's been here for a year now. He's been in the system. He understands what's expected, and I think he could have a great year. I think he could have a great season. I obviously don't know how they do with reps and everything. I know they like to rotate a lot of guys to keep those guys on defense fresh. But if he's somebody who's getting a bulk of the snaps defensively, he's somebody who I could envision having a big time season. So I think Hayden Harris on the defensive end is definitely somebody to watch and to look out for this 2024 season. That was number 7. My number 8. And which this is kind of interesting, and I mentioned this in my my video this week on Tuesday, but Brandon Casey, our right tackle, was a first team all conference guy. And when I was making up this list and looking at the roster and thinking about the guys who I wanted to put on here, I didn't even realize that Brandon Casey had been a first team all conference tackle. That is amazing. That is just great. I can't remember the last time the Grizz had a first team all conference lineman, and to see them get one in the 2023 season is just a testament to how much improved that offensive line was and how improved everybody as a team was. He's somebody who has been in the program for a few years, not too long, an Idaho guy, I believe, right down the street, so he's kind of at home but not really at home, but hard worker, doesn't say much, but obviously the work he's been putting in has been paying off because he was first team all conference. Obviously, I've already made up the list, so these are my players to watch. I think Brandon Casey, for somebody on the offensive line, is definitely somebody to watch. Somebody else who I would also watch, I'm going to just add this side note in here while we're talking about offensive linemen, Liam Brown, Cannon. I would watch that whole offensive line. That's a position group to watch because we got the new offensive line coach, Joe Palick. I think the whole offensive line is going to be a topic of discussion during the offseason and definitely a topic of a point of emphasis during training camp, spring ball, and the summertime. That's going to be something that you as fans and me as somebody analyzing the game is going to want to pay attention to, because Chad Germer, I talked about this in my video, but Chad Germer has been there for years now, has been here for years now. So there's going to be different language being used. There's going to be different terminology being used. There's going to be different things being taught. But at the end of the day, it's still football and it's still offensive line play. So different coaching points coming from a different coach. Going to be hearing a different voice. Will it positively affect these guys or will it negatively affect them? Who knows? I'm excited to find out. But Brandon Casey is a player for me to watch. And I'm going to just asterisk that the offensive line is a position to watch for me in the 2024 season. Number 9 is Hank Noose. Henry Noose, however you guys know him from, Noose. He's from Kalispell, hard worker, grinder. He was hurt a lot of the 2023 season, but he's somebody, let me give you guys his stats first. 2 solo tackles in 2023, 1 sack and 1 forced fumble. And I don't even think he played in that many games. So for him to have a sack and a forced fumble is honestly pretty nice. But he's somebody who I know is a hard worker. He's been in the program for a few years. He keeps his head down. He's got a lot of ability, but he hasn't really been on the field much. So I'm excited to see what he's able to do in a full season if he makes it through the season, which I hope he does. knock on wood. But Hank Noose is somebody who I'm paying attention to. I've been very excited to see what he was going to be able to do, and we haven't really got a lot of time to see him on the field, but I'm excited to see what Noose is going to do. He's my number 9 player on my list of players to watch for 2024. Okay, and my final person on my list, number 10 on my list, is going to be Pat Hayden from Monmouth. The D tackle who I guess is coming in to replace Gubner, and we all know what Alex Gubner meant to this defense and meant to this team. He had been here for years. I think he came in the year or two after me. Grinder. You never had to worry about if Alex Gubner was going to be putting in the work. You never had to think if Alex Gubner was going to be ready. He was always going to be ready. He was always going to be prepared, and he was always going to be one of the hardest workers in the room. That's a big hole to replace. Alex Gubner was the Big Sky Defensive Player of the Year, and I don't think that's happened many times for defensive tackles in the Big Sky. You guys can let me know, but I don't think many D tackles win Big Sky Defensive Player of the Year, and it's not because there's not good D tackles that are coming out of the Big Sky. It's because, well, I know D ends, but I'm talking about interior D linemen. So let me correct myself. I don't know how many interior D linemen have won Big Sky Defensive Player of the Year, and it's not because they aren't talented. I'm sure there's many talented interior D linemen that have come out of the Big Sky, but I lost my train of thought. Oh, that's why, they're doing the dirty work. They're not getting all the recognition. Everybody's not seeing the statistics. Like with Alex, he'd penetrate the offensive line almost every play, but he wasn't getting the notice because he wasn't getting a sack. He wasn't getting a TFL. But if you're watching the game backs, you're watching and you're looking and you're like, Alex is affecting this game on every play. Nobody can block him. He's getting held. His jersey's ripped. I mean, his jersey was ripped after like the first quarter of the national championship game. So personally, I believe that's going to be a big hole to fill for Pat Hayden. I hope he can do it. Judging off his stats from the 2023 season, I'd have to guess 7 solo tackles and 1 sack. I mean, he is an interior D lineman, so a lot of times their stats are like that, even if they did play a whole season. But I'd be interested to know if he was hurt in the 2023 season or not. But he's somebody who I'm definitely paying attention to, just because how dominant Alex Gubner was, and I don't want to put that type of pressure on Pat Hayden's shoulders, because obviously Alex Gubner was one of one, and if he's able to measure up to that, then great for him. But I just hope he's able to hold it down in the middle of that defensive line and be strong and be a stalwart, be a anchor for that defense in the 2024 season. So that is going to conclude my top 10 watch list for the 2024 season for the Montana Grizzlies. You guys let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Let me know if I left somebody out. Let me know, just let me know what you guys think. Give me your guys' thoughts. I'd love to hear them and see them. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I want to ask you guys to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, make sure to leave a comment, and I will catch you guys next time.